Hello, everyone, and welcome to another session of the Welcoming All Inclusive Hosting Virtual Summit. I'm Suzanne Hecker, and I am here with Lynda. And Lynda is going to share her heart with you. And I am so excited to have her join us. And she has so much knowledge and information to share that, I am so excited to listen and to learn myself. And so if you see me, taking notes, it's all good. All right. Lynda, if you can introduce yourself and take it away.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. Let me share my screen. Okay. So hello, everybody. So my name is Lynda Shrager, and very briefly, I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. I am an occupational therapist. I'm also a social worker and a certified aging in place specialist. And my career has focused on working with seniors for the past 30 years, and for the past 20 in the home care arena. I've seen every home situation that there is, every possible setup that you can imagine. And that's what led me to write my book on aging in place, because I felt that people needed to know strategies to age well and age safely at home. So my whole career kind of morphed into the creation of this book, and my area of interest and my area of love is helping people stay safe in their home. There is only one thing that every single person on the planet has in common. We are all aging. Currently, there are 45 million people over age 65 or older. By 2030, that number will reach 75 million Americans. 1 in 5 will be over 65. But the real moment of truth, the real big change will take place just a few years later. By 2034, the US will, for the first time ever, be a country comprised of more older adults than people under the age of 18. The US Census Bureau projects there will be 77 million people over 65 and 65 million under 18. Senior travelers are playing a key role in the evolution of the travel industry. Many are switching from hotels to vacation rentals. They are opting for a vacation rental due to their accessibility, their authentic community feel, and their affordability. Also, since they tend to have more leisure time, seniors generally choose to take longer trips, preferring to spread out in a setting that is more home-like than just a boring hotel room. So, this is the time to start targeting the often overlooked yet incredibly valuable senior market segment for the opportunity to boost your bookings and stand out from the competition. So what I'm going to do with you all today is just go do a walkthrough of somebody's house, of a basic house, the areas that many of us have in our homes, and just point out some ways that you can make them more accessible. So the grounds, we start with the grounds. So as you can see here, the landscape is well trimmed. The sidewalk is in good repair. It's important to, go through your house, look at the walkways, get the little sticks and stones away, especially now since spring is here and all the stuff has been falling. You always want to have as best lighting as you can. Enhanced outdoor lighting is very helpful. And in addition to that, I just want to mention that it is ideal if the driveway is a hard surface. That way it can handle the van that might be used for a wheelchair user. At least a hard surface pathway getting up to the house in some way is really helpful. Because if someone is in a motorized chair, they are going to have to be able to use a hard surface, because you know what? If you have sand or gravel or grass, a wheelchair like that could actually sink into it. So we don't want that to happen. If someone is using a walker, even or a cane, the smoother and the firmer the surface, the better. So keep that in mind. The entrance, well, that's the way we have to get into the house. So that's the first thing we look at. I'm not sure if you can see my little arrow here that I'm trying to show around, but the ideal no threshold. Zero threshold entry is the best. You just wheel right in. If you are in a motorized chair, the ideal width of the doorway should be 36 inches. That's best for a chair. But many of us do not have a zero threshold entry. It is not a catastrophe if there's a couple of stairs. I like this picture because it shows just 2 stairs, which is great, and then the third little one to get into the door. These are great railings because they come, if you can see, down past the bottom step right into the ground, and they go up to the top of the landing. So they're with you the whole way you're going up the steps. They don't stop right here. Some do. They tend to stop at the bottom step but not go all the way down. So a railing that's elongated throughout the stairs is great. Many people who are using a cane, who are using a walker, our seniors can certainly go up a few stairs. And if the stairs aren't too steep and someone is in a manual wheelchair, they can also be bumped up the stairs by someone. So that's not a game changer either if that's the case. I'll show you some ramps as we get further into this talk. So the living areas. Well, lots of areas that we will be talking about, but in general, you want to look at your pathways. You should always try to have uncluttered pathways and think about the main path that people are going to be using to go from, let's say, the bathroom, the bedroom to the bathroom, the kitchen to the bathroom, the living room to the bathroom. We all have to be using the bathroom. So look and see, do you have extra furniture there? Do you have a big plant sitting in the middle of the room? You might need to move it a little bit. Excuse me. You want your windows and doors to open easily. I'll show you some light switches as we go forward, and the heights of the outlets should be about 18 to 24 inches off the ground. That's ideal. Many of us don't have that, but if you do, that's a great accessible feature. And we'll talk about furniture, and I'm going to save the Shrager twist test for a moment. If you look at this picture, you can see that right here, there's just a little change in the floor. It's about a 2-inch change. But if you don't live in this house, you're not going to know that that's there. So what these people did, if you can see right along there, they just put a red strip. They painted the wood red right there. And on top of that, there's a sensor light right here. So if anybody comes up to that area, the sensor light goes on, your eye goes to the red, and you see. And so that's an easy fix for that kind of a situation. Stairs, they're also not a game changer. They don't mean that people can't come to your home, but there are ways to make your stairs safe. First of all, you want to keep objects off the stairs. You want to fix loose or uneven steps. Install railings on both sides if possible. A staircase with a rail on both sides is just so much easier because if you think about it, people might have a problem with one arm. They might have weakness, a decreased range of motion. They might not be able to hold on with both arms. So if there's a rail on both sides, no matter where they're going up or down, they'll have something to hold on to. So that's great. You want to check and make sure your railings are in good and not loose. A light at the bottom and the top of the staircase is great. And a contrasting edge at the top up here or at the bottom, like a little strip. If you have wooden steps, that's a nice little fix. It would look kind of like the slide we saw before that, but it's not necessary, but it's nice to have. Furniture. So I call this a captain's chair. This is just a chair simply with a firm bottom, a back, and 2 arms. These are great. If you think about your areas that you're offering your guests to be seated, whether it's in a dining room or a kitchen situation, if you can possibly have a couple of chairs like this, that is great because for those who are older, it is much easier to get on and off of a chair that they can push off from the arms. So, if you have a dining set and you can find a chair such as this to add to it, that's really a nice accessible feature. The furniture. So, you know what? We have our furniture. I have patients that I see in home care. They've got the mushy old couch that they've had their whole life. They love it, but they can't get off of it. Okay, so here's the key. A soft, mushy couch can easily be raised. The concept is the higher something is, the easier it is to get off of. So if it's a low couch, it's going to be hard for people to rise up, especially if it's a mushy low couch. Furniture risers, if you can see right here, you can buy them. Well, it used to be Bed Bath & Beyond. I think Bed Bath & Beyond is still online. I don't know if they're going to take your 20% coupon. That I do not know. I will research that and get back to you. But Bed Bath had them. Amazon, of course, has them. Any of the home goods stores will have them. These, you'll see them a lot during college time because the kids all use them to raise their beds in college. But these are great. And they come in 2-inch, 3-inch, 4-inch, actually up to like 7 inches. I would only recommend at the most 4 for a couch. But you can take a couch, which might have been really almost inaccessible for somebody, pop a few risers on, and off you go. Now, here's the key. You have to have little feet. If you can see right there and right there, there's little ball feet that sit in the divot of the riser. So it needs to have little legs or little feet in order for this to work. Motion sensor lights, they're great. Stick on. You stick them everywhere. I always tell people to put them on the staircase because that way, as you approach the step, as you're at the top, it sees you about, it senses the person about 10 inches ahead, and the light will go on and it lights up your steps. General living, so rocker switches. Rocker switches, the newer homes all have rocker switches, but I'm in upstate New York and our old homes around here don't have that. So it's great because as you can see, the person is just touching it with one finger. You don't need to have the mobility and the dexterity to hold a lamp and turn the knob. You can touch it with your hand, your open hand, your elbow if you had to, your fist, whatever. But it's an easier way to turn on the overhead lighting in the house. Threshold ramps. So this happens a lot from one room to the other. As you can see, this home, the hallway is wood, but the bathroom here is tile, and it was up a couple of inches. Anything over 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches or more is a tripping hazard. So you need to have a smooth transition such as this. You can buy these wooden thresholds in Home Depot, in Lowe's. It's an easy fix. You just nail them in, and now you've made a smooth transition. So the person, and by the way, it doesn't have to be anybody old. It could be anybody who's going to walk from one room, because remember, the people who are doing this are not used to your house. They've never been there, maybe. So it doesn't become rote that they remember to lift their foot. This way, you slide right up and there's no tripping. And here's a picture of one of those accessible outlets. And this was in a house, that was my cousin's house. It was a new over 65 community. And so, of course, now it's occurring to everybody to put these outlets higher so that people can reach them. The kitchen. So single lever faucets are easier to work with, and they give a visual prompt that tells you if it's hot or if it's cold. Refrigerator and freezer doors, there's actually not a picture of a fridge in here, but you want them easily accessed. Everybody ran and got a French door refrigerator freezer because that was the thing a few years ago. Those are cool. And the reason why they're the thing is because half of everything of the refrigerator part mostly is up, and it's easier to access if you can walk over and open the door. And since most of us are kind of in the refrigerator more than in the freezer, it made sense to do it that way. That said, if someone is using a wheelchair or a walker for that matter, it's not so easy, because if you picture, if they pull out the freezer, now they're way out here and they can't get to the refrigerator because that's in the way. So it's actually easier for someone in a wheelchair to use a side-by-side refrigerator. But these are just things to take note of. I'm not sure if you can see here, but the dishwasher is raised about 3 inches off the ground, which is great because, again, bending down, dishwashers are basically on the floor. Bending all the way down to put those plates and utensils in is hard for people who might not have the mobility in their back, who might not have the strength. So that's something there. Here you can see that there's a wheel under stove, so there's an open area. The people who use wheelchairs need wheel under sinks, that kind of thing, countertops, so they can get right up to it. The knobs on the front or on the side, which do make them easily accessible. That said, if we're talking about our people with cognitive challenges, then you want to think about making sure that the knobs are safe. because a younger child, somebody maybe with Down syndrome, autism, might be able to get to the knobs. An older person with dementia might turn on something and not remember and turn it off. There are easy little knobs that go over your knobs that make them so that you can't turn them on and off easily. And again, that can be bought in any Lowe's or Home Depot. The bedroom. So the bedroom, again, night lights are great. Lights are great all over. And you'll see that I've said this over and over again. Automatic lights that are sensor lights are really great because, again, people who are not familiar with the house don't know necessarily where the lights are, and these will light up for them. So they're great. Contrasting the bedding with the floor. This is actually not a good example of that. This is a better example of the next one, which is relaxing colors and soft surfaces. But let me tell you why I have contrasting bedding with floor. If you've ever noticed, if you have like these, and many of you do, have these beautiful comforters and quilts in your guest bedrooms. And when you go to unroll them, they tend to, when you kind of undo them for the night, they pool right here at the corner, okay? And they sort of make this big like pooling of material, and that's a tripping hazard. And I've tripped over my own comforter that slid off the bed. So if it's a color that's a good contrast to the carpet, that at least is a visual reminder of somebody to be careful there. So that's why we have that there. Music, gentle music, white noise, nature sounds. I'll show you a noise machine in a few minutes. These are all just very relaxing amenities for people, especially those with cognitive challenges who need like just a little less sensory input going on. So this is just an example of a very relaxing room. Another thing that you can do, again, back to my sensor lights, pop a little sensor light under the bed here. And when the person goes to put their foot on the bed, the light goes on. So it's like an automatic night light, but it doesn't, go in your face and wake you up. So that's great. And this is just an ideal room, and it has a lot of features in it that I want to point out to you. First of all, the bed, 22 inches. So as I was saying about the height of furniture before, there is certain heights that really are easier to get on. And a 22-inch high bed is a standard height. How you know if your beds are standard is just go into the room, sit on the bed. Your hips should be at 90 degrees, your knees should be at 90 degrees, your ankles should be at 90 degrees, and your feet flat on the floor. That's how you know that the bed is a good height for you. I cannot tell you how many people that I work with, they're dangling in the breeze, the bed is way up here, but their husband made the bed. He made, the frame of it, and it's 100 years old, and they're going to keep the bed, and they got to like climb up to get on the bed. There's so many beautiful beds out there, but just to remember that some are easier than others to get on and off of. So this is perfect. The other thing about this bed is there is room underneath, and if someone needed some type of a lift, a Hoyer lift as an example, to help them get from their wheelchair to the bed, that lift needs to be able to slide under the bed right here. Okay, so a platform that's like sitting on the floor would not work for someone like that. So having room under the bed is an amenity for somebody and something important to point out. Another thing here, I love the two lamps. It's great? Touch lamps. You can just touch the actual shade of the lamp and it goes on and off. Then somebody's not hanging over the bed trying to find it. Those are great. This also has beautiful natural lighting in the room, which is really the best light that you can have. And I love the bench at the bottom because that's a great place for people to get dressed. Because sometimes if the bed is high, if you think about it, you're sitting on the bed and you're bending down to put your shoes and socks on. That can be difficult. Just sitting here on the bench, perfect height. The bathroom. This is where the occupational therapist spends their entire life, okay? My life is in the toilet, as I say, in a happy way. So there's a lot going on in bathrooms. First of all, getting in and out of the bathroom, any doorway, 32 to 36 inches is ideal. Some of the old homes around me here, they're 28 inches. Someone with a walker could do that. Someone with a wheelchair might not be able to. So it is important to think about your doorways. The treads on the shower or the tub. So go check out your shower and your tub, step in it. See, you know what? If it's old, if it's been there a while, it might be kind of slippery. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I'm calling the Able Closet. And that's a place where you can find lists of things to get for your houses. And we also have an Amazon store on our website at Becoming Rentable. In that is one of my favorite products. It's just a peel and stick treads for the floor. They're at Amazon. They're like $9 or something. They come and you can get fun shapes. I like the fish, of course, but you can get any shape you want and you just peel them, stick them on the floor, and you've created treads. So that's a great way to make that shower or tub safer. I'll show you the contrasting toilet bowl in a minute. The general height of a toilet. So again, when I see some of the older homes, those toilets are about 15 inches high. I myself have noticed it's starting to become a long journey down, okay, to sit on that toilet. The new toilets are all pretty much 17 to 19 inches high, which another name for that is comfort height, ADA height. Those are the heights that if you go in now to Lowe's or Home Depot, that's what you would buy. I don't think you could even find a contractor who would sell you something lower than that. But some of the toilets are low, and so we'll talk about some ways to modify that in a second. Again, single lever faucet. You want your temperature, you can control your temperature and set it. 120 degrees is the safe, non-scalding temperature. So you should have that throughout your whole house. And the Shrager twist test. So we talk about bath mats in somebody's bathroom and also just throw rugs in a house. And I know that I've had patients, they've had a fall, the children come in, we're getting rid of all the bath mats, all the rugs, everything's going. They're going to just have naked floors all over the place. That is not necessarily the best thing to do. Sometimes rugs are okay. When are they okay? First of all, if you have a big rug in the living room or in the dining room, you know, a big oriental, gorgeous thing, if it's heavy and it's got furniture on it, it's not going to go anywhere. So that's okay. When you have a throw rug, and some people will have them, let's say, in a little hall or in the kitchen, or as we're talking now, in the bathroom. So what you do is the famous, very highly researched Shrager twist test. And what that is I go into somebody's house and I stand on this mat or little rug. I put my feet about 12 inches apart and I actually do the twist, the dance. And if my feet, under my feet, that rug is moving around, then it's got to go. But if that rug doesn't move, it's okay. Now, how do you find an okay rug? Well, you look at it and you look under it. I will say that many of us are guilty of having the same bath mat for 100 years. And it used to be have a good rubber bottom, but it doesn't anymore because it's all just graded away and it doesn't hold anymore. So go out, buy some fresh ones, and you may put them down. Because personally, I feel that a rug, especially outside the tub or the shower, is a nice thing because you can step out on it and it dries your feet, but it's not going to slip. So just pay attention to the rugs that you have and do the Shrager twist test on those. So the bathroom, so many things in the bathroom. I want to explain to you that, so these modifications are all for people who have some type of a mobility issue, a strength issue, dexterity issue, people who have challenges, orthopedic challenges, they had a hip replacement, they had a knee replacement, they have arthritis, multiple sclerosis, muscular dystrophy, ALS, stroke, Parkinson's. It could be anybody, and it doesn't really have to be a senior because any of us could have any of these things at any time. And these simple modifications make it easier for any one of us to navigate and use the toilet, use the shower, use the tub. So I'll go through these for a minute just so that you can understand the difference on them. So as you can see, this is an extended or a transfer bench for a tub. And 2 of the legs are out and 2 of the legs are in. The idea of this is when someone doesn't have the ability to step up over the wall of the tub for whatever reason. They come into the bathroom, they sit right here at the edge, they slide their tush in, they lift both legs over, and they're in. Okay, so by using something like this, you have taken a bathtub, which is not accessible to someone who's in a wheelchair, who cannot walk, and you've made your tub accessible by giving them this tool, this piece of equipment that they can now transfer onto and slide in. Now, you might be wondering, but how does the water stay in? Because if two legs are out and two legs are in, that could be problematic. And the simple fix is that you have two shower curtains. The one that you buy at the dollar store, that's inside, the inexpensive one, and then your nice one on the outside. And if there's a slit right here that it's probably hard for some of you to see, but it's there. And you tuck the plastic one inside and you keep that inside the tub, and the pretty one goes on the outside and you're in. And really, I promise, it does not come out. Here is just a standard chair, all four legs in. If someone can step over, maybe they have some arthritis, maybe they just have some balance issues, maybe they're getting over a heart attack, or they have cancer and they're feeling a little weak. They might not feel okay to stand the whole time in their shower. So here they can just sit and relax and take their shower. Back to the toilet seat situation. If we have a low toilet, there's tons of different risers that you can get. This one just screws on. There's no tools for any of these things, by the way. That's the good news. It just screws onto the toilet and it gives you about a 4-inch rise. This one, same idea, but with arms. And you know, because I've told you, I love arms because it is easier to get on and off. Sometimes if you have a tight toilet in a little alcove, as I've told you, I've seen it every possible setup that there is, you might not even have room for the arms, but at least you've given them the height. So that's great. And for those people with dementia, sometimes it is actually hard for them to discern where the toilet is, because if it's all white, it's just hard for them to see the opening. So getting a contrasting toilet seat like this, or even those with just vision problems, this is a great thing. And there's so many fun colors now. So you can go to town. Okay, some more things in the bathroom. I love these. So as a matter of fact, the Marriott has gone totally to these soap dispensers that they put now in your shower. And you know what? They're a lot less expensive than having to buy, the little shampoo, the little cream rinse, the little gel, the little soaps that you have to give to every single renter that comes in. This is a great way to work around that. It costs a lot less money and it looks very nice, very spa-like. And this is a one-handed dispenser. So you just put your hand under it, give a little squeeze. I'm not sure if you can see my hand trying, and out it comes. So if you only have the use of one hand, those are great. A handheld shower head. Again, you've seen these for that person who may be needing to sit, reaching up for this and then being able to wash themselves without having to stand under the water is great. There's all sorts of different ones. They're an easy thing to put into your shower. This tub safety handle I love. So again, we have the Amazon store and the closet, which we're going to get to, but we tell you where to buy all these things. And I'm always available. You can get to me through our website and I can coach you through any of this stuff. This is a great thing. I just looked it up before I gave this talk today because I wanted to remind myself how much it is. And today it is $39.99 on Amazon. It comes, there's no tools again. It's just a handle and it squeezes onto the wall of the tub. Okay. And that way someone can step over, step out, take a bath and get back up. And it's an absolutely great, it's like a grab bar for your tub. So this is great. And then they make some beautiful combination grab bar, other things. So this is a grab bar and a shelf. Excuse me. So if you can see, it's a little hard to see this here, but this is a shelf that holds all the stuff, but there's a handle coming out of it that holds 500 pounds of weight. So it's an actual grab bar. And this is a towel rack grab bar. Does the same thing. So for those, and let me tell you something. Again, I'm in this field. I've been doing this a long time. Grab bars get me excited, okay? But they can be beautiful, absolutely beautiful. There are some companies, and we can tell you where they are, but They actually make like artistic grab bars. So if you are having a little hesitation, thinking to yourself, I don't want my shower or my bathroom to look medical, to look institutional. Trust me when I say there are beautiful grab bars out there that don't even look like a grab bar. There's a toilet paper holder grab bar, okay, that you would never know is just anything but a toilet paper holder. So there's a lot of ways that you can keep your, your bathroom looking beautiful and match what you already have and still make it safe and accessible for everybody. Here's just an idea of the ideal bathroom. Right here, there's a big turning ratio. You actually need 60 inches, 5 feet in front of something. In the kitchen also, for a wheelchair to turn around. People don't always have that. It's the ideal, but it's not always realistic. But having an area, if somebody did need a wheelchair to roll up to the toilet, and then you have these grab bars on both sides for them to grab to be able to transfer onto the toilet is ideal. Here's I stayed in a hotel actually, and we were in the accessible room. And interestingly, right here, there is a little lip. So it wasn't just a straight, no threshold. There was 2 inches here, but these are some really nice features. There's a large horizontal rail across the back. If I'm going to go into a house, when I have a patient and I say, I'm going to help you, make your shower or tub accessible, what I try to do is a horizontal grab bar across the back and a vertical at the entrance. That way they can hold on with both hands and step in, and then they can hold on to the horizontal and they can turn around, they can do their back, they can do their front, wherever they are, they have something to hold on to. This has the handheld shower head, so you can see there, you can take it off and you can reach it down, and it has a built-in bench. You know what? I'm not a lover of the built-in benches always, because sometimes I feel like they're too low and too far back from the water. So you don't have to have one. There's so many chairs that you can get that we just saw that you don't need a built-in bench. That said, if you have one, that's a lovely amenity to have. So, okay, so mobility and dexterity, and cognitive vision hearing. Those are our focus areas that we kind of look at when we're looking at a house to see how accessible it is. For those with arthritis, stroke, Parkinson's, or other dexterity limiting conditions, operating controls and switches, gripping objects, such as a doorknob, using tools and utensils, they are the chief problem that somebody has who has any kind of dexterity challenges. So gadgets are helpful. So first of all, we talked about the rocker switch, the doorknobs in your home. So think about those. So if you can see under this green rubber is the old-fashioned metal round doorknob that a lot of the older homes have. And if you think about it, that's not so easy to use. You have to grip, you have to sort of be able to squeeze it, you have to have the mobility in your wrist to turn. So this little rubber handle goes over that, and it just gives you a better grip for those older doorknobs. The ideal doorknob is a lever handle in any room. Lever handles are great because you don't have to grip it like that. You can have an open hand and just pat it down. You can literally do it with your fist. You can do it with your elbow. And on my website, which I think I have a slide on what my website is at the end, I have a little video of my dog, Bailey, the golden doodle, who figured out how to jump up with her paw and open the lever doors. So my husband and I have not gone to the bathroom alone in years, okay, because the dog is always with us. So if the dog can do it, anybody can do it. And lever handles are a great adaptation in your house. Not expensive. You can go through the whole house and make it all lever, and you've really done a great thing. Some simple things for people who have dexterity issues, a cuff. So in your kitchen, you have things in your kitchen. You're inviting people to use your kitchen and the appliances and the utensils in it. Throw in a few of these gadgets, because then you have just helped so many people. Weighted utensil for someone who has Parkinson's disease and has a tremor. This is called a rocker knife, and it's just a one-handed knife that someone can cut a piece of steak and rock back and forth and do it independently. A built-up plate where they can spear the food onto the plate and bring it to their mouth for someone who might have one hand, who might have had a stroke. These are both jar openers here, and these are all in our on our Amazon store, and we'll explain more to you there. But they just make it so easy to open any jar. I love this. It's a little hard to see. It's called a spike board. And what it is, it's a board for people to cut things who only have one hand. It's just a silicone hard board with a couple of nails coming up. So you would put like a piece of bread or the apple onto the nail, and then it's holding it. So then you can, or your onion for making your salad, a carrot, and you can chop whatever. And you don't have to hold with one hand and chop with the other. And then there's a corner here to put pieces of bread or roll so they press up against it, and you can, spread butter or peanut butter or whatever it is you're using. This is the famous OXO vegetable peeler. We've all seen that. Most of us have it in our house. It's the black rubber handle. The OXO company was started by a man who actually started making these utensils for his wife who had arthritis. And if you've seen them, you can buy them anywhere. They make every kind of utensil. I mean, they make knives and they make forks and they make all sorts of things, jar openers and things. They're great. If you're going to go out and start fresh, putting things into your kitchen in preparation for people coming to rent your home, go for it and get this kind of thing because it works for everybody. It's called universal design. You don't have to have anything wrong with you. It works for everybody and it makes it easier for everyone. For those who have cognitive issues, label things. I do have to say, my daughter just told me that she was in Florida a few weeks ago. She doesn't have any cognitive challenges, but she rented an Airbnb with her husband and 2-year-old. And she was so thankful that all of the cabinets and drawers were labeled. She said it was such a nice thing, like puzzles and books, pots and pans, whatever it was. She said it was just it was like a nice thing to see those. She made pretty little labels on all of her cabinets, and it was very welcoming. And it also is a way to show people where stuff is, because if not, you spend the first day opening everything, trying to find everything. What's nice about this is for those who may have a cognitive challenge, beside the words pots and pans, which maybe someone might not be able to read, you put the picture of the pot and then everybody knows what's in there. These clocks are great. They make them, actually, my favorite one is one that will tell you the weather outside, which is even better, but those are orienting for people. And, when we're on vacation, and again, this happens to everybody, it doesn't have to be an older person necessarily, or anyone with cognitive issues. It's just, how you go on vacation and how many times you say, what day is it? Like you forget, it's not, you're not working. It's not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You literally don't know. So this is a nice thing. So vision. So visual changes accelerate after age 50 and increase in severity after age 65. Discerning closely related colors may be difficult for people. It takes longer to focus when moving from a dark room or to a light room or vice versa. So some amenities for our guests with low vision clearly mark, as we showed in the picture earlier, hazardous changes in floor levels. And if you need to put a sign right up that said, here's a step, just do it. That's okay. I'd rather you do that than not have it. Position furniture away from areas where people walk or move often. So I will go into somebody's house and, I'm new eyes in that house. So I've never been there. And I look and I see that the couch is way down kind of near the entranceway to the living room. So somebody has to walk all the way around just to get in. And I'll say, if you just push this down 6 inches, you just opened up that pathway through the door. And if someone's with a walker, now they have the room to go through. So look at your pathways, kind of try, as I said, as if you've never been there before, and think what somebody else might be seeing. Adjust illumination throughout the home. You want high wattage bulbs where appropriate. Distribute light evenly if you can. Shiny surfaces are hard for people. They make glare, and that's difficult to see. LED bulbs last the longest. As you can see, this simple little thing, a contrasting plate with a mat. You can go buy mats in every color of the rainbow, but like a red mat with a white plate, So think about what color are your plates that you're having for people and try to get contrasting a tablecloth or a mat or something like that. Hearing. So the most common disability among older persons is a hearing loss. My children say that I have a hearing loss. I do not buy that for a minute. Okay. Don't buy it, but maybe. Background noises interfere with the ability to hear normal conversations. So what can we do for our hearing impaired guests? Audible warnings can be accompanied by visual or vibrating devices, flashing lights for a doorbell. So the doorbell goes off, but there's a flashing light that they would see. Vibrating alarm clocks. There's amazing clocks, and they sit by the side of the bed, and they'll say, fire or whatever, but there's a little wire that goes under the pillow, so it would actually vibrate if a fire was happening to wake the person up to get them out. Insulated line drapes and other sound absorbing materials will help to get rid of some sound. Closed captioning for the TV is great. Smoke detectors, CO2 detectors with flashing lights. Your windows and doors should seal and close well because that helps. And plants, carpets, and plush furniture will absorb sound. Okay, so let's talk about this Able closet. We're wrapping up now, but what we have created at Becoming Rentable is something we're calling the Able Closet. Most everybody who has a short-term rental usually has a room or at least a closet locked away, and it's for your stuff. It's for the paper towels and the toilet paper and the supplies for the cleaning people, and it's not open to the public. But what we're saying to you is create this closet with some of these items that we've talked about today, so that if a person does have some physical or cognitive challenges, you can talk about this on your listing, and you can say, in our Able closet, we have all of these things. And when that person wants to rent your house, they will tell you, boy, I could really use the couch cane. And you can bring that out just for that weekend, and it's great. So, and what I'm saying is this is called one less thing to bring. Okay, if the person doesn't have to bring something from their home because you're offering it, what a nice thing, what a really welcoming thing, and it would definitely increase the potential of people who could use your house. These threshold ramps, they're great. They're for a sliding door. Many people have the slider out to the beautiful deck and pool area and all of that. A little ramp for the threshold so that someone could walk out easily is great. We call this, this is a folding ramp. Some people call it a butterfly ramp because it kind of goes open and close. You can see, well, maybe you can't, but this is covering 2 steps, and they make them, it can be 3 or 4. So if you do have a few steps in the front, you can simply have a portable ramp, say it in your listing, because they're going to look and say, wait a minute, you have steps. And you're going to say, yeah, but I have a ramp that will work for those steps so that a wheelchair can get easily into the house. A couch cane, I love this. It's just a little, it's like a grab bar for the couch. So if back to this furniture, if you have soft, mushy furniture, if you think it might be hard to get on, this slides under and someone just grabs it and they easily get up. A sound machine, love sound machines. They're great for people with cognitive challenges, anybody who has a baby and travels. My kids have lots of babies right now, and everybody's got sound machines all over the place, but it is really relaxing. A baby monitor. Now, you might be saying, well, what does that have to do with seniors? But the baby monitor is a thing where you can see into the room and you can see what the person is doing. And it's made originally for babies, but you know what? It works great for anyone who you might be worried about who might want to wander, someone with dementia, someone with cognitive issues, so that you would have that with you and you can have a camera and you can keep an eye on somebody. But you know what? What a pain in the neck if you're traveling cross country to have to pack the baby monitor. So you have it in your closet and there it is. So many different kinds of bed grab bars, bed railings. They pop right here in between the box spring and the mattress. They're great and they're perfect for someone who might have trouble getting on and off the bed. Here are the bed risers we talked about, blackout curtains. Anyone with a baby, I know because my kids keep coming to to my house and they're dragging the blackout curtains with them. But anyone who has cognitive issues, who too much sensory input is too much for someone who might have autism. The blackout curtains are wonderful. They make the room pitch black, and you can get them, have them in your closet. And what a nice thing for people. And these different toilet seats, this is a raised toilet seat, slides right over any toilet. And it's also a commode, great adaptation, a rolling shower chair. For someone who needs to be in a chair, people actually travel with these. I mean, what a hardship, really, to pack this thing up and bring it on a plane. And I know that people do. A one-time buy, you have it in your closet, it's there for people. The transfer bench we talked about, the shower chair we talked about. So I talked very fast, and I apologize for that. Quick commercial for my book, but all of these things that we talked about are in there. And I just want to say that we at Becoming Rentable are there for you, and we will talk you through all of this. I like to call myself the closet coach because I can, tell you if you're not sure about some of these things that you could possibly get. But so many things that you can do in your house that are so inexpensive and easy to get and turn your house from one that might not have been accessible for everybody to one that really could be. So that's all I have to say. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
you've given us so much information, Lynda. Like, I'm already thinking about my rentals and thinking about those closets and being like, okay, I can definitely put one of those shower transfer chairs, like how awesome is that? Like, so
Exactly.
much good information. And I'm definitely going to be starting those closets. I'm thinking about, so one of my rentals there's like a closet in the hallway that, you know, if people lived there, it's a big old linen closet, but there's hardly anything in it. And I'm like, what a great spot to put some of these
Exactly.
items. So you've
Exactly.
made some really good points that I've never thought about before. And so I really appreciate all of the information that you gave us. So if people have questions or whatever, they can also reach out to you, and hopefully they've dropped some things in the chat as well, but they can go to your website, they can go and get your book. So where's the best place for them to get your book?
Right now I would say Amazon.
Is it okay?
I mean,
Awesome.
if you have a favorite bookseller, they could order it for you. The book is actually coming on to like its sixth year. Wow. But it's still out there, and it's still there's a lot of people buying it still. So always Amazon.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming to the summit today and sharing all this information with us. It was so helpful. And I will definitely be doing those able closets in my
Oh,
rentals,
good.
and
Good.
hopefully other people as well. So I
Definitely.
appreciate your time today. Thank
Well,
you.
thank you. Take care.